what kind of traffic they're getting from the existing traffic on Amazon, but they never really think about the traffic that they may be getting if their product were to list as, ranked number 1 on Google.
We interrupt this program to bring you this important message. Welcome to Marketing Interruption, a daily podcast powered by BlueTuskr that interrupts your day with marketing news, tips and strategies from an entrepreneur who lives and breathes marketing. Now, let the interruption begin with your host, Andrew Maff.
Hello and welcome to episode number 47 of the Marketing Interruption podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Andrew Maff, and today I'm going to talk to you all about the massive slew of Amazon Chrome extensions that exist out there. Now, I have a list of 12 of them, as well as a small bonus one for you today, but I'm going to say that I would not recommend using all of them. If you've ever used more than 5 or 6, going on to your Amazon account or onto an Amazon listing is like signing on to like a really shitty website that's just trying to hit pop-ups every corner that they possibly can. There's just way too much going on because of all the extra bells and whistles that get added to all the product pages or the search page or anything like that. But so let's go through this list. So first one is one called Keepa, and this is an Amazon price tracker. So a lot of them are Amazon price trackers. People love to track price and BSR, and mostly those two things for the most part, but some people also do some other stuff, but I'll get into that. But Keepa, Amazon price tracker, relatively simple to use. I don't use it, but I know it's one out there that a lot of other people use. The Camelizer is another price tracker with a little bit different reporting, the way that they show it. I prefer theirs. I also don't use theirs though, but it is different the way that they kind of level out their reporting. And I know a lot of sellers that kind of prefer that one. Then there's the FBA calculator. Pretty self-explanatory. A lot of people will find their price or be looking at different competitors or different products that they want to get into and are kind of curious about what it may be costing them. And the FBA calculator can obviously show up on the screen and be able to help you with that. There's also AMZ base. So it's product research. And you're going to realize that so many of these do product research, but that is basically price tracking, not suggested, predicted like sales and things like that, in which I'm going to touch on in a minute here. It just gets interesting. Jungle Scout's a big one. So Jungle Scout, I'll give them some love to the fact that I like them because they've gotten so big. They put out a lot of content. They help a lot of different Amazon sellers with just knowledge in general. They offer a lot more than just what their Chrome extension does. But their Chrome extension is pretty much meant for product research, and it gets relatively in depth. The Amazon FBA keyword tool. So this is a way of helping you look at different keywords that people may be searching. Amazon has slowly started to actually just show the suggested search terms that people are searching, but this one gets a little bit more extensive and allows you to kind of do a bit of a deeper dive into what people are searching. Amaze Owl is another one for product research. Helium 10 is typically my preference, not necessarily for product research, but it does have product research. It also does search terms, and it gives you some PPC stuff, and there's a lot of extra things that come with it, but the Chrome extension itself is mostly meant for product research. Then there's AMZ Scout Pro, also product research. If I'm doing product research, I'll usually use Helium 10, probably compare it to Jungle Scout, and I will also compare it to Unicorn Smasher. So this is another one. The interesting thing here is we actually took, I think it was 5 different product lines, 5 different companies, and looked at 3 or 4 competitors of each. And we basically took people that we worked with and then looked at their competitors, and we tried to decipher like, okay, which ones of these are most accurate. And oddly enough, Unicorn Smasher actually came out to be the closest almost every single time in terms of projected sales or how much it assumes that someone is selling. And the odd thing to me was that it was really close. Sometimes it was almost completely accurate, and I have no idea who owns that company. All I know is it's Unicorn Smasher. I don't know who runs it. I don't know what else it does. All I know is that you can get the Chrome extension. There's a free version. There's a paid version. But I would suggest using Unicorn Smasher just because I've seen how accurate it is. I still use Helium 10 and Jungle Scout as a comparison, but Unicorn Smasher is usually my go-to. Then there's two others that aren't necessarily meant for Amazon sellers, but they basically are still useful. So you have the Meta SEO Inspector. So this will kind of dig into your meta title, meta description, into SEO stuff. So a lot of Amazon sellers don't typically look into this kind of stuff because they're so worried about what kind of traffic they're getting from the existing traffic on Amazon, but they never really think about the traffic that they may be getting if their product were to list as, rank number 1 on Google. So if you can actually adjust your Amazon listing to not only cater to the Amazon algorithm, but to also cater to Google's, there's a lot to know there. So it's a very interesting tool to have to still leverage, even though it's not completely catered to Amazon sellers. The next one's the same concept. So it's Moz. They call it the Moz bar, and it will show you your Amazon's domain authority is not really going to tell me much, but your page authority. So this is essentially out of every keyword that you rank for out of Amazon's domain, what is your specific product listing page rank for? Now, if you compare that to a website page, it's going to be much higher, and you're going to be like, well, I'm not getting that much traffic, so this must be bullshit. It's not. The fact is that Amazon's domain, it has so much authority that it will bring your page authority up, but it won't rank as well just because of how big Amazon is. But it is an interesting thing to track. It's very easy to do if you have a relatively smaller product line. If you have a big product line, you have thousands of products, it's kind of difficult just because of the amount of tracking you would have to do. But it is a very beneficial Chrome extension. Now, that is 12 of them that are specifically or helpful to Amazon sellers. I have a list of like 50 of them that are useful for just e-commerce in general. So I'm going to give you a bonus one that I found that I love, and it's called Extensity. So essentially, it takes all of your Chrome extensions and makes it into almost like a bookmark folder so that you can just kind of file through them, because the issue I've had is that I've now gotten so many Chrome extensions that it just starts to take up my entire area and I barely have any room in my search bar. And then they actually start to go into their own little folder. So the issue now is, or the solution now is that Extensity actually puts them all into one folder for me. So I just know where they all are at the same time. And it definitely helps a lot. That's my list. That's all I have for today. Rate, review, subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us for today's Marketing Interruption. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show. And don't forget to email marketinginterruption@bluetuskr.com with any marketing questions you'd like to have answered on the show. And head over to marketinginterruption.bluetuskr.com to catch up on past episodes. Until next time, we now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.